What's up, XRP family? Thank you guys for joining the video for today. So I want to start this video with two very nice videos, and then we dig in and see what's going on. We have some interesting stuff to talk about, guys. Here we have, although India is looking at launching something soon, 2 weeks ago, eyes open. So this is interesting because here we have Watch Guru saying India's central bank plans to launch its digital rupee CBDC pilot on November 1st. Very interesting, guys. So let's take a look what they say in this video.
You ask me every single day is, when are we going to see CBDCs? Does anybody want the answer? So I'll give the same answer I give all the time, and then these guys are going to answer. So for the big economies, the UK, Japan, even India, although India is looking at launching something soon, the EU zone, etc. This is going to be, my view, 3 to 5 years at least, because you're talking about, one, they have good systems already. So why do we need a CBDC? The benefits are less important to some of these economies. So they will do them, but they're going to wait and learn. And everybody asks me...
Very interesting point of view, guys, because this is actually quite accurate. If we look at when ISO 20022 is going to be completed, like the migration is going to start November, or is going to start March, sorry, because it's postponed. But if we see when the migration ends, it's actually 2025. Now, this doesn't mean that CBDC is coming 3 to 5 years, so the price of XRP will stay the same, right? This is not relative to the price, because it doesn't mean that they will not use the cross-border system, because they need that right now. They need to solve debt right now. So they need to start doing things already now and not 3 to 5 years. So the CBDCs will be ready in 3 to 5 years, especially of these major like countries and economies. But they have been doing a lot of testing. They have been doing a lot of figuring out. So, but what he says is correct, right? Because we can see that the digital euro is also gonna take some time before it's finalized. I actually kind of agree with SPF here. I chose XRP a long time ago because I think the down with the banks thing is silly. I'm no fan of central banks, but I'm also an adult. Controlled decentralization is the only boat that will float, in my opinion. Now, this is very wrong, guys. This is very, very wrong, right? Listen, XRP, yes, it's decentralized, right? The XRP Ledger, 100%. But CBDCs will never be decentralized. They will always be controlled. And this is all about control. They need a system where they can also have control over the transactions. They want to see every transaction so that they can build social credit scores, which is also in the talks. It's quite scary what is coming, guys, and don't be fooled. Don't think that they will use the XRP Ledger for something good, right? It is all to actually fulfill their bigger purpose, which is control. So don't be deceived. But let's take a look what this guy is saying.
How much does decentralization matter in all of that, SBF? Do you think in general the crypto community... do you think decentralization is overrated or underrated in the crypto community?
I think that's a good question. So I guess I'll say here's a vision for decentralization, which I feel like moderately compelled by, as my current best guess for the way to do it, which is basically that you have like a bunch of centralized islands, whether they're centralized exchanges, whatever they are, which are then connected to each other by decentralized rails, right? And so you have and that's sort of like in some sense what we have right now, right? Where there are all these exchanges and each one of them is centralized, but you can withdraw your assets from them to your own self-custody wallet or to another exchange, your account at another exchange, using decentralized blockchain rails. My guess is that that's roughly how we're gonna see things building out. And it means that you can have the efficiency of a centralized entity performing some operation, but the exit strategy of being able to go to a decentralized platform or to self-custody and a native language that each of these platforms can all talk with each other in order to communicate, in order to send assets between each other. And that if you're building a new platform, you can do that with as well.
How much
I think this is very good said by this guy of FTX, because the thing is, decentralization is really cool and it gives you a lot of privacy, right? But we have to consider one thing, guys. How many people lose their wallets because something happened and they cannot contact anyone? They cannot do anything about the things that happened. Of course, your keys is your control, so in some way you are responsible for anything that happens. But believe me, guys, it's a very scary world out there. If you just make one mistake, you may lose all your funds. And that's the big problem with decentralization, in my opinion, because I've seen it a lot. And I think that if you have your funds, for example, on an exchange, you're less likely something is going to happen, right? But also the less control that you have. So I think like a balance is very, very healthy right here, and that too much decentralization is not good and too much centralization is not good. So this is a very valid point, and I think this can be like the future of how crypto will eventually work, preferably. Why is it important that numerous amicus briefs have been filed in the Ripple vs SEC case? An AB is called a friend of the court, and historically ABs have been filed only in appellate and top level courts where difficult issues are being resolved. Very interesting, guys. Jeremy Hogan. As far as I know, the record of number of ABs is 78, and those were filed in an abortion case in the 80s that made its way up to the US Supreme Court. That being said, is it normal to see numerous ABs in a trial level case? Definitely not. The judge's liberal allowance of amicus briefs in this trial level case would seem to suggest that she understands that the issues involved are complicated, novel, and that the ruling will affect a large group of people and or industry. And I think that's a good thing, right? So the thing is, like, there has been a couple of amicus briefs right now. For those who don't know what amicus briefs are, it's just that other companies make an appeal to the court to actually support Ripple, right? Which we have seen quite a lot happening. So very positive news, by the way, for Ripple. Anytime we can see settlement. Load up the Solo, friends. XLS20 is 1 day away. You can buy directly from Sologenic DEX. You can also swap for other tokens. Now, this is not financial advice, guys, but Solo is a very important coin. It's actually where you can buy NFTs, and the main token that is actually handling all the NFTs, they also have an NFT marketplace, which will play a significant role, guys, in the XRP price as well, because we will see some significant price action because of XLS20. XLS20 is going live any time now. Today, tomorrow, it's going to be live, and we can see significant price action, guys. This is not financial advice. Please do your own research. But NFTs are coming on the XRP. If XRP comes out ahead in its lawsuit with the SEC and Sologenic can secure a license to offer tokenized securities, Solo could be the best cryptocurrency to invest in this year. Not financial advice. Please do your own research. Sologenic's primary offering is a DEX, aptly known as the Sologenic DEX. On this platform, users can buy, sell, trade NFTs assets created on the XRP Ledger, right? As it stands today, the value of Solo is closely tied to XRP. However, that hasn't stopped Solo from becoming the next big crypto. If XRP comes out ahead in its lawsuit and then Sologenic can secure a license, it could be one of the best performing coins of the year. I definitely agree, because NFTs have not been properly released yet on the XRP because everyone was waiting for XLS20, and now it's finally time, so we can see some significant changes happening. Ripple CTO David Schwartz raises concerns about AI progress. Very interesting. He says actually that he's worried about AI and that it can just create things that actually didn't happen. I definitely agree with him, guys. AI is on the brink of really changing everything. And we can also see that in CBDCs, guys. CBDCs are going to be made to control the population. It's already happening in China, right? They want to control you, and they do not want too much decentralization. SEC versus Ripple. Worse for the SEC. Very predicts that if the SEC appeals up to the Supreme Court, it is likely to not only lose but set a sweeping precedent that would limit or eliminate entirely the application of Howey on cryptocurrencies. 100%. That is why, guys, I do not see this happening. I actually see happening a kind of settlement that will actually create the Ripple test, right? That just makes the most sense right now. They will not just lose and keep losing all these battle against cryptocurrencies, which then do not apply to the Howey test because it's broken, right? I don't think that's the case here. There are increasing signs that the U.S. Securities Exchange faces a bruising defeat against the San Francisco-based enterprise blockchain innovator Ripple Labs. Forbes said that, guys. As the cryptocurrency trial of the century draws to a close in a Manhattan federal court, there are increasing signs that the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission faces bruising defeat. Now, we all know that Ripple is sweeping the floor with the SEC, and most likely this will end very soon, guys. But make no mistake, I do not think, guys, that SEC will just lose and we will see a discredit to the Howey test. I do not think that will happen. But a settlement is so close right now, guys. Ripple's general counsel, Stuart Alderotoy, has made it clear that they will settle in minutes and pay a fine if the SEC will make it clear that today's XRP is not a security. Having expended his political capital, Gensler should take the deal. Now, this is more likely to happen, but then think about it. Ripple would have spent so much in legal fees, and then everything is just clear and they have to pay a fine. That just doesn't make sense as well. The problem is here, guys, they have to make some kind of deal so that the SEC cannot just lose, because it will have big problems with future cryptocurrency cases, and I do not think they will risk that. But let's see, guys, we're on the brink of a very interesting event. It's not about Ripple's legal costs. This is a sunk cost if they settle, and Ripple will not fall into a sunk cost fallacy. It is about buying certainty, a certain outcome, and eliminating the risk of a court-imposed decision. A party in settlement has to be rootless within itself, right? Let's be clear, Ripple will not pay any fine. They have already invested 100 million. But this is also true. Ripple can just pay the fine and be done with it and move on, because Ripple can take this, guys. It's a big company. They have lots of money. One of the few cryptocurrency companies actually that is very healthy, right? But let's see, guys, this is not easy, and it will be very interesting any day now. November is upon us. Be ready. Thank you very much for watching the video. See you in the next one. Cheers.